All right. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to you, wherever you're joining us from. And welcome to the Disciplined Agile Meetup, where we show up every single month and we try to bring practical tips that you can apply directly on your job every time you're here. This is what we promise you. And just before we set into it, I can see a couple of people letting us know where they're joining from in the chat. Pamela, as usual, from the UK. Thank you for joining us. Rickard from Sweden. Thank you. Of course, Pete from Australia. That's me. Dokas from Abuja, Nigeria. And Yomi, thank you so much for joining us today from London, UK. Ifeolayo from Nigeria, Bamidele from Lagos. We have Patrick. Oh, Patrick has switched side today. He's joining from Ibadan, Oyo State. All right, that's interesting. Chinedu from Abuja. Precious, thanks for joining today again from Edmonton, Canada. And then we have Mary, my sister. Thanks for joining from Scotland. Okay. Rachel, okay, from Rahel, Massachusetts, and we also have Babajide from Bonny Island, Lagos. Please let it keep it coming. I'll come back to that very, very soon. But just while we're waiting for others to just let us know where you're joining us from, let me quickly introduce the meetup to you. So this is the Discipline Agile Meetup like I said earlier on. Why are we here? So we are a dynamic community of project management enthusiasts that are dedicated to championing the true value of project management, of lean approach, and all other agile practices. We have a mission to support individuals and organizations across Africa and beyond who are really passionate about advancing their capabilities in all of the frameworks and methods under the big umbrella of project management. We try as much as possible to give ongoing knowledge in any area that we think the community will benefit from. So for this year, we're focusing on agile ways of working, general project management, and emerging technologies as well. I'd like to remind you that this is brought to you by Pete Lauren Consulting, who is an authorized training partner, which suggests that if there are project management training needs, talk to us. We will be able to support you. In fact, we will be doing much on the training side come next year because we definitely will do a little bit of strategy session for next year based on what you need and what we can bring on board. Our promise is we continue to show up to support the community. All right, today I have someone special, someone really, really special because we go way back. Someone that has really influenced me even when I was very, very young, and she continues to be an influence on, on who I become in terms of my career and person. So we have Yomi Akinyosoye today. We will be taking us through a topic we call Beyond Deadlines. Most of the delivery that we do in our workplaces have timelines, deadlines, due dates and stuff like that. They all come with pressure. And so today, Yomi is going to unpack what goes beyond deadlines, how we can continue to build resilient teams. Let me tell you a little bit about Yomi, and of course, at the end of the day, I'll mention some personal stuff as well. So Yomi Akinyosoye is a UK-based chartered management consultant with over 20 years of experience working with public and private sectors. Yomi has led multifaceted teams and has been involved in delivering large-scale transformation programs, regulatory programs, engineering, and IT projects Of course, that cuts across several sectors such as consulting, financial services, oil and gas, transport, government, and charity organizations. Yomi has a master's in management from this prestigious business school, and she is a professional Scrum Master. She's a practitioner with Prince 2. She is a certified risk manager, change manager, and so on and so forth. So in 2020, I was part of this as well as a guest. She launched the Career Management Clinic, a career mentoring and coaching program to empower people with practical knowledge for career growth and development. Yomi has a passion to see people excel and have a fulfilling career experience. She's married and blessed with two amazing young adults. Now, I'd say Yomi influenced me a lot. While in school, we studied together, and there are quite a number of instances that I can't forget and stay with me till today. Of coming and to influence me in terms of hard work, in terms of staying true to yourself, in terms of really staying focused. And those are the things that still really make me respect and still call upon Yomi to come deliver a session for us today. So like every other session that we have, it's going to be an amazing session and it's going to be practical. And so please, all I will ask you is please be attentive. If you have any questions, like we normally do, at the end of the session, we'll have the opportunity to ask questions. Use the chat box. We'll be monitoring your chat box and your chat, your questions, your suggestions, things you want to share, and then we'll call them out. So without further ado, let me invite Yomi to take the stage. Thank you so much for joining us today, Yomi. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Pete. Thank you. And you've done so much hype, and I was wondering if you were talking about myself. So I better do a good job so you can invite me back for another session in
I have no doubt.
2026. Thank you for that. Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. So thumbs up
Yes,
or some reaction will be good. Great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. So, thank you for joining. Hopefully, it will be an engaging session. So, like Pete said, I want everybody to come with an open mind, to learn, to unlearn, to think as I go through the slides, and let us make it interactive. So I'm going to ask us questions. There'll be some engaging polls. So please, let's just encourage me so that I would come back another time. So yeah, before I start sharing my screen, I would like everybody to engage in the chat box by putting in there what you do. So yeah, project manager, a planner, a scrum master, agile coach. If you're a team member or a team lead or manager, I would like to see that engagement in the chat. So, to see where we're at in terms of demographics and a scrum master. Thank you. Lovely. Scrum master, program manager. Thank you. Project manager. Lovely. Product owner. Oh, good, good. So you tend to good. So some form of leadership there, team lead, team member. Yeah, lovely. Good, good. PM, good, good, good. So we're all in that community and we've got some form of leadership role. Good. Team member, good. Yeah, lovely. So I'm going to share my screen. Um, good. Can you see my slide?
it's coming up. I'll let you know once it comes up. All right, beautiful. Can say it.
You can say
Yes.
lovely. Okay. Yeah, good. So just give me a minute. Good. Lovely. Good. So this evening we're talking about beyond deadlines, um, building resilient teams, fostering collaboration, and and I've kind of had that as a subtitle, to foster collaboration and adaptability for success, because for us to have a resilient team, we must foster collaboration. We must foster a team that is matured and ready to thrive in the face of changes, challenges, a lot of transformation, a lot of you know life happening while we're trying to deliver, we're trying to meet deadlines, we're trying to achieve what has been set for us as a team to achieve. Um, so tonight, if you can, I want to hear us talk. Um, the picture on your slide, you can unmute and just let us engage. This one I don't want us to put in the chat box. I want to hear from people. So that picture, what comes to your mind when you see this picture? I'm waiting to hear from people. What comes to your mind? You can just unmute. Pete, can everybody unmute? Do they have that?
Yeah, they have the capability. What I ask is once you're on mute, please go back on mute because
Okay.
of
Teamwork.
interference.
Teamwork,
Right.
lovely. What else? Teamwork here. What else comes to your mind?
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
Lovely collaboration. And there's a group of people, they're trying to collaborate, they're trying to hold something together, ensure that that center is not falling apart. They're pulling it and trying to to do the twining and the crocheting of the ropes, if I can use that word, together. And why does it matter? Why does resilience matter? Why does it matter to, in an organization, in teams, in directories? Why does it matter? And when you hear resilience, what comes to mind? What do you think about? Think about that as I'm going through this point. I checked the dictionary for what resilience means, and it says the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, from toughness, is the ability to bounce back. And I kind of put that bounce back in another color and underlined, because it's so important that as a team, be it a team member, be it a team leader or manager, that you've got responsibility for a team, that your team can bounce back after setbacks. I don't call it failure. Even if a project fails, it's not, I don't use the word failure, is a setback. But then how do we manage that? How do we manage the not so good success stories? How do we manage to bounce back from difficulty experiences? you know for example, now I'm responsible for a PMO, you know in the water industry, that I'm responsible for 1.2 billion worth of program. Yes, I'm not the program managers, or the director for the program, but my PMO is responsible for that. So beyond deadlines, beyond working with the portfolio managers, the program managers, the project managers, the finance team, all the business partners, forming this. Or beyond that, I have to think about my team. How can we cope with the demand from everybody submitting their business cases, submitting their change requests, submitting their proposals, submitting, all stuff comes to PMO. For example, how can I ensure that my team, is fit for purpose, not just to deliver in terms of technicality, but in terms of being resilient, being able to withstand the challenges, the difficulties, the things that would come out. How do you do that? So, if you are managing a team here or a team member, I want to start thinking in that line. What does resilience mean to me as a team member, as a project manager? And then in there it says team resilience is the team's ability to adapt, to recover from setbacks, from challenges, from difficulties, and thrive under pressure while maintaining performance and well-being. Resilience is essential for success in unpredictable work environment, enabling teams to handle setbacks and navigate change effectively. We are all working in a, especially post-COVID, is such a fast-paced environment. All everybody's working in you could leave today and you come back tomorrow. It's not the same. Things are changing, organizations are changing strategies. Everybody's trying to ensure that the bottom line, which is the money, the revenue, is making sense. So you go in this week, next week there are changes coming up, the CFO is changed, the CTO is changed. You get to the office and you see company news, the CEO is resigning. So a lot of changes coming. I can remember in 2021, 22, for example, I was working in one of the regulatory bodies in the UK, and I was heading the PMO for that organization. And of course, there were loads of changes in the government then, post-COVID. That was when, our prime minister, there were news about, there was a party during the COVID period, a lot of changes anyway. And my regulatory body was reporting to one of the government departments within the parliament, right? Within the 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 parliament reporting to the prime minister. Anyway, there were loads of changes of the secretary of state. So our secretary of state are like maybe permanent secretary, if you use that word in Nigeria or in probably in America. So they kind of oversee that department for digital engineering, IT, and the areas I was sitting in. So there were loads of changes. And with every change of the secretary of state brings change to the programs, I was kind of working on, which is the core one that was really impacted then during the time I was there was the online safety. So I was leading on the online safety program as the PMO, head of PMO. And every change to the Secretary of State impacted the plan, impacted the delivery, because then that means you have to kind of onboard this Secretary of State, you have to bring them up to state, and you've done that, and within 4 6 weeks, without exaggeration, there's another change. And now, how do I manage that as the head of PMO, for not just for my team as PMO, but for the IT department, the technology department, the finance department, the legal department, the policy department, the enforcement department. So this cuts across over 13 departments, working on the program. And one of the things I would say is that helped people to kind of adapt, recover then is the resilience the team built. And I'm going to talk about, the building blocks for that later. But, start thinking about when you're working in a fast-paced environment, life happens, changes are coming from the government, is out of your control. Then how do your team build resilience, to ensure that they can adapt to the changes, recover, and while they are doing that, under the pressure, they can still thrive. Your team has this enabling attribute to be able to bounce back and handle setback. And the fourth point there says fostering psychological safety, which is so important, that we go into that space and we know is a safe space for the team, is a safe space for team members to come into. Resilient teams create trust and safety. There's this safety that people can be open, they can be honest. And with this comes this empowerment. People feel, you know what, I'm safe to fail here. I'm safe to make mistakes because I know there will not be this blaming culture. Oh, why have you done this? I've got this support, this safety mechanism that I've been put in place, to help me to come in and be myself, to share my ideas, to support one another. And the last point there says resilience transforms work environment into space for growth. Yeah. And it's linked to the fourth one. People feel, you know what, I've got that space to grow, to collaborate, and to thrive, and it's just not about performing and meeting deadlines. And here, the picture there talks about it brings what are the common challenges that we face at work that kind of impact teams being resilient, in workplace and in organizations. And I've got different points here. Lack of shared purpose. And if I take it back to the example I was sharing about, changes during the changes within the government in 2021, 2022, one of the things that I would say kept the program and the program community together is shared purpose. So it was about online safety. One of the things I do when I'm onboarding people onto the program, because my PMO team, we have the responsibility, we're accountable for onboarding people in alongside PMO. And when I have this onboarding session with them, the induction session, and they ask me to do my own session, I paint the picture of what we are trying to do. We are not trying to just deliver. We're not just trying to do something new. It's about online safety. And I come with a story. And there's something about when you are sharing the purpose and the vision of your team, of your program. Why are we doing this? When Pete was starting, said, why? Start with the why. That is the shared purpose. Why are we doing this? People want to know why we're doing this. And for me, for example, I use the online safety. I start with the story of I've got teenagers, then they were not younger, they were teenagers. And I want my children to be able to go online and be safe when they're online. I don't want, cyberbullying. I don't want, sexual harassment and exploitation. I don't want them being able to just access any, illegal sites like, porno sites and all those things. I don't want them going into, sites that are not fit for their age. I don't want the public as well, beyond my family, to be exploited online fraud, online, terrorism, grooming and all those things. So it's really coming with a shared purpose. People want to know without a clear, and where there's lack of shared purpose, where there's no clarity in terms of the vision, people understanding why they're doing stuff and what we do, how it contributes. So I'm telling the legal team, when you do your own bit, you're contributing to keeping a child safe online. I'm telling the policy writers, when you do the proper thing and we do the public consultations for the policy, you're helping to ensure that the old people, the vulnerable, they are safe online. So it's like during that time, giving people the shared purpose. So the common challenge is that there's lack of shared purpose. Again, when you have weak or inconsistent leadership, when the leaders are not really present, they can be there, but they are not present. They are absent. They are not decisive of what needs to be done. They are not standing for what is true. They are not standing for the purpose of what needs to be done. People just, if they don't provide clarity and vision, people don't work without direction. People need that direction to be able to support them and navigate the journey. Again, tight deadlines and scope creep. It creates stress that often results in burnout. When people are burnout, it's just like burnout is like having low immunity when it comes to work, when it comes to career, and that doesn't help with resilience. People don't build resilience when they are burnout. They are tired, and that also comes in when there's um, unclear roles and responsibility, and people just keep doing everything. It keeps dumping, on the table for the teams, and the leaders are not standing up. There's scope creep in terms of roles and responsibility, and the tight deadlines are there. Again, linking that to resource constraints. So the deadlines are tight, the scope are creeping, and then there's resource constraints, and now that happens a lot, in organization, especially post-COVID. So you see that roles are being, headcounts are reducing, and the roles and the responsibilities, they are increasing. So you find out that one person is doing the role for three people, and that also affects the resilience that the team or the directorate or the business function can build, because you have limited staff, the budget is cut, it creates pressure and it reduces the quality and the efficiency within the team. And with that, you can't really build resilience, that teamwork, that the first picture, if you could remember the slide, you have that rope, it's thick. It's because you have enough people to pull at and build the inner strength for the team. That's how it would happen. Then remote and hybrid working model, that has also bring its challenges. Some people are not so good with working from home, not working and seeing the team physically. And is what, as a team manager, to notice that if you have a team member that prefers to come in, I had that, in one of my roles post-COVID, that this particular person likes to come into the office. And I had a discussion. It's hybrid. You don't have to come in every time. And he just opened up saying, look, I don't work well at home. I don't like it when it's too quiet. I start going into some moods and it can lead into depression. So I've been, I've been treated for that in the past and I don't want to go back there. Now, what did I put in place, for example, to help him is to ensure that when he's in the office and we don't have any of my team members in the office, I make sure that I've kind of linked him up with another team manager that I know they tend to come in on the days that we are not in, and they just kind of co-locate together, co-work together. So he's not there alone. Some people cannot work in the remote hybrid. So it's worth knowing yourself, worth knowing your team members, and help to kind of take away that communication barrier, that isolation that then doesn't help with the team cohesion of the person to kind of feel inclusive and supported. The last one is the psychological barrier. A lot of people don't build that resilience because of fear of failure. I don't want to fail because if I fail, there'll be this blaming culture, there'll be this pointing fingers, you caused it, imposter syndrome. Also affects confidence and team dynamics, lowering engagement. So these are, it's of course not an exhaustive list, but common challenges to having that resilience built within the team. Now we're going to have a poll before we move on, just to see what we've experienced before. So Pete, if you can post the poll, if you can release it now, because I'm sharing my screen for some reason I can't see my Zoom, so you would have to tell me the percentage we have for the result, if that's fine, Pete.
That's fine. The
Thank you.
poll has been launched and it's coming in. A couple
Yeah,
of
so we've
people
got
have.
about 3 minutes, 4 minutes for the poll. So
All
once
right,
that
beautiful.
is, yeah,
Yep, it's growing.
sorry about that, Pete. Because I'm using a laptop I'm
Yeah,
not used to tonight, I can't see my Zoom screen. I can only see my
it,
presentation.
it's all right. I've got it in front of me at the moment.
Thank you.
So
So how we do with the poll?
yeah, we're doing very well. We have about 40% participation already. In fact, it's
Lovely.
growing like wildfire, close to 45% at the moment. So yep, let's keep coming. Let's keep it coming on the, let's say in another mm, 30 minutes or 30 seconds, I mean,
5 seconds.
or 1 minute, we'll close the poll. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, it's growing 60, 57%,
Okay.
close
Once
to
we get to
60%.
70, we can.
Yep. All right, beautiful,
It'll be good to know
beautiful.
what people are saying they've experienced.
All right, beautiful. But I can start giving you the
Yeah,
lowdown
absolutely. Let's
now.
do that. Let's
All
crack
right,
on.
so for the 3% of the people said lack of shared purpose that they
Yeah.
have experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
We also have weak and inconsistent leadership. Again,
Lovely.
43% of the people have said that as well.
Mm.
This is a this is a little bit higher, tight deadlines and scope creep. No wonder people are coming here today. That is 48% of the people say tight deadline and scope creep is one of the challenges they have faced, or they face often.
Yeah.
Resource constraint, interestingly, is lower. That's 39%
Okay.
of the people, and the one that is even lower is remote and hybrid working.
Yeah. So
So
that shows that
again,
people
we
enjoy
love
the
working from
hybrid
home
working model.
and yeah, hybrid model. And psychological barrier is 13% from what we've got so far.
Good. So the highest we've got is tight deadline
Tight,
and scope creep.
exactly, tight deadlines and scope creep, close to
Yeah.
50, about
Yeah.
50%.
Good. These are the common challenges. And one of the things I tend to, suggest or recommend to people is when it comes to, these challenges is nothing changed, nothing actually would change if we don't do anything about it. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, if especially if you are not in the leadership role or in the mid or where you think you have got a voice. Well, we've got voices, which is why I'm sure if you're in an organization, you would see they would say, have your say, right? Sometimes we think it doesn't matter. It does matter. I will tell you, management go through your have your say, and if the like we've done this poll now, if they've got that pattern and the percentage of people saying a particular thing is there, they look into it because it doesn't make them look good. So why am I saying this? One of the things you can do to make change and, you know, make a difference is to have this conversation with the people that matters at work, either through your survey or having a chat about it. And don't ever think, especially, with our lovely color, we always think they're not going to do anything about it, because most of us are from that country that is so blessed that nothing changes. We just think there's nothing we can do. A lot of things change when people talk. So if in a situation where you're having a lot of deadlines, one, you have to definitely manage your time. You have to also speak up because you don't want burnout. It's better to speak up and ensure that you've got enough bandwidth and capacity to deliver well than not to speak up and set yourself up to fail. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is speak up, have a conversation, right conversation, right way with your managers, with people that matters, and just try and speak up. Don't keep it to yourself. When we speak up, we can see the change. When we don't say anything, nothing would change really. So yeah, that would just be a recommendation about that. But if there's any question about this, I can pick it up. Then this is another picture. I like to tell stories with pictures as much as I can. So what can you see? Again, I want to hear from you because I can't see if you type. So also talking gives me that, encouragement. So what do you think? What's this picture? What can you see? Tell me a story with a picture in a sentence or in a phrase. I'm waiting. I'm listening. Just unmute and say something.
Feel free to unmute and say something about this picture.
What's it saying?
Any takeout?
Any take up for this?
I mean, it looks a bit like lack of teamwork, disjointed team in a way.
Okay, that's interesting. What else? Who else can see something?
You can see the leader sitting on top and giving directions.
Good. One more thing. Apart from Pete, who else can say something? What can you see? Look at it very well.
I think there's no coordination.
All right, that's
Everybody
interesting.
seems to be doing their own thing.
Oh, okay. That's
There
interesting.
seems to be far apart,
Good. So they are meant to be building together, right? And doing the puzzles, yeah. But like Pete rightly said, somebody is just sitting up there like, I'm not bothered. I'm not doing anything. And some people like this, there's a lady there with some form of leaf or something, one with the blue top trying to pass it to the other one on top wearing blue, somebody climbing the ladder. So like you said, some people are doing something, some people are not doing anything to build the block and bring it together. Yeah. And building blocks of resilient team, you have to, the first picture, there's collaboration needed. That cohesion has to be there. So we don't need anybody sitting and being the boss. We need everybody working together as a team to build the block, not far apart, as someone rightly picked up. There's somebody is high there, somebody is, to the right, somebody's to the left, somebody's climbing the ladder. There's no shared purpose, but we need the building blocks to make things happen. And I'm just going to touch on, some of the building blocks in building resilient teams. Leaders must demonstrate calmness, apart from the shared purpose, right, which is somewhere down the line. Leaders must demonstrate calmness and adaptability under pressure, setting a strong example for their teams. Not like the leader in this picture that is just sitting up there being the boss. No, is not the right thing to do. So if you're a leader, scrum master, project manager, and if you are a team, a leader, no, I think this is for the leaders, you must demonstrate calmness, especially when your projects are going pear-shaped. They are not going according to plan, because it's going to happen. As long as we don't have a perfect world, we're not going to have a perfect project. There will always be variance. There will always be, delays, one thing or the other, even if you have everything that you can control within your control. It could be your supplier. It could be you've placed the long time, you've given the long time, procurement, you've done everything, and voila, something could happen. But as a leader that is leading that project, as a product owner, as a scrum master, how are you demonstrating calmness? How are you adapting to the change, the pressures, the challenges? How are you setting that example? Because that is what your team is going to pick up. If you have an anxious leader, your team is always going to be tense and anxious because they don't know what they're going to expect. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what they're going to pick from you. So it's very important to demonstrate calmness and be adaptable. Like, okay, it's happened. What's the way forward? Not really dwelling on what's happening, because that's what would help your team to know that, okay, actually, if I mess up on my own deliverable or deliverables, I have a safe space to go to, because my leader, my manager is going to handle it with calmness, and we're going to look for solution. Clear and honest communication builds trust and keep team members aligned. That picture, we can see they're not aligned. Somebody is probably on the phone. Somebody's sitting up there. They're not clear. Some people are building the blocks. Some people are bringing leaves. What exactly are we doing? But if there's this clear, honest communication that has been, set up and encouraged, promoted within the team, it will build trust and keep team members aligned. Everybody are going to be on, they'll be on one page. Clear purpose. Again, we've talked about shared vision, and the post showed us that's one of the common challenges that people face. There should be clear purpose. Why are we doing this? What are we doing? Let everybody know why we are doing it. What are the benefits we want to realize? How do we want to realize it? What is the need for them as well? Because that's one thing that helps people when it comes to delivering and putting everything in, enthusiasm. They're efficient about what they are doing. They're effective about what they are doing. They want to know what is in it for them. It could be what is in it for them is that they get knowledge, know-how. It gives them visibility. Oh, it's a high-profile project, but people just want to know what is in it for me. Why are we doing it? Again, one of the things that helps with building that resilient team is continuous learning. Ensure, as a leader, as a team member, as a person, always do your gap analysis when it comes to capability, when it comes to knowledge. And then you can know, where do I need to upskill? Where do I need to kind of up my game? And also, as a team leader, encourage knowledge sharing. If somebody is good at something within your team and you've noticed that, do not let it stay there. Encourage that person to share it in your team meetings, in newsletters, more of knowledge sharing, show and tell. And as a leader, as a team, you always want to think about continuity. So how do I ensure that when this person is not there, there's no gap, nothing is broken? So continuous learning as an individual, for your team, as a team member. Flexibility, like we said, there's no perfect world, there's no perfect scenario, because we are not perfect and nothing is perfect. COVID came and every organization had to adapt. There must be flexibility with our plans without panicking. Be willing to explore new ways of working if necessary. Continuous improvement. We have to always explore, how can I do this better? How can I work better? How can I work with my team better? How can I lead my team better? How can I manage my project or my teams better? Flexibility is very important. Now, as a team manager, recognition and appreciation. Like, somebody within my team yesterday, for example, clocked celebrated our 23rd work anniversary within the organization. And I went, out of my way to, celebrate her in the group, not just within my team. So I did within my team. I took it to the main group where we have over 350 people, everybody congratulating her. I sent her a card, from the website, added a couple of pounds to it. It doesn't have to be big, but she's been, and I wrote in a, a little note in it for her, you are a star. I'm so happy to have you in my team. And I can remember some years ago when one of my colleagues, also leading a team there in the organization I was working, the regulatory body, and said, look, Yomi, it's strange the way you make your team to shine. Are you not kind of threatened that probably they will feel their, you can't do without them? and they would just start, misbehaving or taking it for granted. And I smiled and I told her, actually, I can't do without them. That's the reality. And I let them know I cannot do without them, because there's no champion without a team. And I say it to my teams everywhere I lead. There is no champion without a team. You cannot do it together. So if you're a team manager or you're working with teams, people are working, for you to deliver stuff. Recognize people, appreciate people. That helps people. It fosters motivation, and it reinforces a positive team culture as well. Don't be threatened about, if there's somebody within your team, like this place now, I'm new there. It's just my 5th week, and I'm leading a team. They know more than the 23 years in my team. She's got everything in her head. And each time I'm meeting with her, I'm like, look, you know more than I do right now. And I use the word right now because it's right now. And I have to acknowledge that. So I'm ready to learn from you. Just as you want me to, in the space of project management and PMO, I've got the voice. But in this industry and how it works here, she's got the voice. So it's really not be threatened by anybody. When I need to learn, I'll learn. So it helps to build that resilience within the team. Supportive network. You don't work alone. I hate silo working. Anywhere I go to, I see silo working, silo behaviors. I break it. Like, you cannot have a resilient team when people are working in silos. So make sure, as a person, team member, you don't work in silos. You encourage. And for this one, we don't have to be managers. We don't have to be the team lead to encourage no silo working. It has to be one team, one vision, shared purpose. Speak out, because I know most organizations don't like silo working as well. Then last one, find time to relax, bonding activities, away days, out of the office. One of the things I like to do with team members is one-to-one on lunch walks. Those things, people sometimes, when you take people out of the everyday working environment, the mundane thing, it helps, to balance work-life balance. It helps with well-being. And when you have a team that are in a very good place, well-being wise, the resilience would build up. It will be strengthened as well. And then I think, now, above everything, you cannot have a resilient team. Your team cannot be resilient, have a resilient team without a growth mindset. And what do I mean by that? As we think, so are we. Our mindset, the mindset of your team members, the mindset of you as a team lead or a manager plays a critical role in your success and how you cope with life challenges and how you people bounce back. So I've got a very simple picture there that kind of talks about when we have a fixed mindset versus when we have a growth mindset. With a fixed mindset, you cannot have a resilient. It's not possible, because it will be, when we're frustrated, we give up. You can't give up, because to be resilient, you have to be able to bounce back. I don't like to be challenged. I either know how to do it or I can't do it. I'm either good at it or I'm not trying, all those things. I'm not going to read everything out, but with a growth mindset, challenges will help us to grow as a team. We'll be able to bounce back. Failure is an opportunity to grow, which is why I always don't see anything as a failure. I've learned something, even if that thing has not worked for me, I've learned how, I should not do it again. So growth mindset is very, for me, is number one. For you to be able to have a resilient team, you have to have growth mindset. You have to encourage a growth mindset in your teams, in your environment, as much as you can. And you as a person have to have that, because if you carry that and take that to workplace, is a game changer. We cannot grow beyond our minds. We cannot grow beyond what our mind can receive. And for us to be able to face challenges, because challenges will definitely come, we have to have this growth mindset that, what, regardless of what it is, it's going to help me grow. It's going to help me stretch. It's going to make me a better person, a stronger person, a wiser person, a more skilled person, So it's very important that we have that. And lastly is this useful tips. I'm just going to drop them there. As a team manager and as a person yourself, I'll always encourage that we acknowledge what is special and unique about you. And if you're a manager leading a group of people, spend time to know your team. That is how you can build a resilient team. Spend time to know the strengths of each member of your team. Spend time to know where they are not so strong, so you can play up their strength and then play the weakness and support when you can, because it helps, it builds the confidence, it takes the fear away, the imposter syndrome and all those things. Use your strength and use the strength of your team in your favor to build that strong team you want. Confidence is a personality. We have to wear it, and it grows the more you practice. Nobody's born like, oh, you're so confident. No, it comes with a lot of practice. Sometimes you have to do it afraid. A lot of times I do it afraid. Where I am now, I'm doing it afraid. It's a new terrain for me, a new industry for me, and I'm learning a lot. But as you do it afraid, you build your confidence, because you do it afraid and say, oh, wow, I actually did it. Then you do it again, and it keeps building and building and building. And you have to be bold and courageous and take the fear of failure away, because we all have it sometimes, but you just have to do it afraid. Find a community, find your support system, be accountable, encourage your team to get support, encourage them to have accountability group. Time management is so important, especially this day and this time that technology, social media, time management. One of the things I do, and I encourage my team members to do, is that do a week look, a 1 week look ahead on a Friday. So I've got a recurring time, 30 minutes. I look ahead my team, my week. I don't plan my week that week. I plan it a week before, because it helps me to be able to manage time. I put my well-being break in there. You see, well-being breaks, it's there. DSC break is there because we need it. Especially if, for me, I tell myself, if I'm not going for fact breaks, I'm not going for my secret break, then I have to take my well-being and my DSC break. It's those things that they are very, very good, and it helps to just strengthen your team and their well-being. Like I've said, recognition award, which is record your progress, record the progress of your team, is a motivator. Rest, take a break. It's a critical success factor to achieving your goals. It's so important. Now, before we go to Q&A, the second poll is coming up. So, Pete, if you can put up the second poll, that will be very helpful. Yeah, we're good with time. So the second poll, thank you.
Right, the poll is up. I believe you all can see it. Please, if you can attend to that as well. Thank you. It's coming up as well. We just give it about a couple of maybe 1 or 2 minutes for it to grow. All right.
That's fine.
Yeah, Taufik just mentioned something in the chat. The discipline to plan your week ahead consistently is super duper tough. Well, that's something to think about, Taufik. You're absolutely right. But something I'll add to that is what is difficult to do is also easy to do, or what is easy to do is also difficult to do. So making it a habit would help, but again, it's quite kind of challenging because life happens. But if you put it in the calendar, it gets done, or if you put it in the routine, it gets done, and over time becomes second nature. It's like eating breakfast. If you eat breakfast, it's just in the routine, and then if you have kids, you want to drop them off for school, whether you like it or not, they have to go.
You
So
have
it's
to drop them.
in the routine.
Yeah. And it's still and it's in the routine. You're totally right. And again, it links back to our mindset. Our minds are it's it's the strongest part of our making our body, if I can use that word. Our minds drives everything. Our minds create our perception. So if you tell ourselves, like Pete said, it's easy, we'll make it, and we're just saying 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, on your in your calendar for Friday morning or Friday lunchtime to just plan your week ahead. So how are we doing with the poll, Pete?
Yeah, so currently we have about close to 60% participation, which is good.
Okay.
I know a couple of people will be doing it, but I can start giving you what I have. All right. So clear winner here. We have clear and honest communication. That's one of the resilient habits that people will practice this month. So 61% said clear and honest communication so far.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Uh, Flexibility, 39%. We've got recognition and appreciation, 30%.
That's good.
Another high is supportive network, 57%,
Okay.
and well-being, 42%.
Yeah. Well-being is so important. Our bit it doesn't have as high as honest communication and supportive network. Our well-being is very important. I had a meeting, my midweek check-in with my team this afternoon. I was reminding them, look, guys, it's winter because I don't know for people other areas of the UK, but in London today we had snow, which was strange. Like it started raining, then it started with hailstones. The next thing it was snow, and it was getting heavier and heavier early hours of this morning. And I was just reminding them, as a part of the safety and well-being session that I had with them, saying, look, up your vitamins, your vitamin C, your vitamin C with zinc, your magnesium, your vitamin D, because there's a research that a study that I've shown that for people living in the UK, and of course with our kind of body, skin rather, because we don't get enough vitamin D, and vitamin D is linked to lack of vitamin D is linked to mood swings, people going into depression. Magnesium, lack of it as well, is linked to depression, linked to mood swings, and people don't know. If we don't know, we don't know. And I was just telling them, please up your vitamin D, up your magnesium, up your vitamin C, up everything you need to help you stay well mentally, physically within winter. So if you are in a cold country, for people in Nigeria, we get more than enough vitamin D. So we're blessed. But if you are, in the cold countries in winter, please do that. So it's very important. Now, this is the last activity we're going to do. I've told you it's going to be interactive, and nobody's going to see what you score yourself, but I call it resilience self-check. And please get a pen, get a paper, or you can use your phone, your notes, and I've got 5 questions there, right? Each question has got 2 marks. So in total, you're going to have 10 over 10. If you score 10 over 10, that is excellent. That means you're doing well. Keep doing what you're doing. That means you're building resilience. And if you're a team manager or a team lead, probably don't do this for yourself. Do this as a team lead looking at your team, if that makes sense, right? Do that. Yeah. So the first question is, do you feel safe sharing ideas? So if you're looking at it as a person, so within your team, do you feel safe? Is it a safe space? Is the psychologist safety so good that you can, openly share your ideas and you don't feel that you'll be shut down? You feel that your opinion matters. So if you think it's a yes, score yourself 2. Again, as a team manager, look at it from the lens of, do you think your team members, and this is honest, nobody's saying it, so really be honest, because the purpose of doing this is to then put a plan in place to get to 9 or 10. So if you think it's a yes, 2. If you think it's a no, 0. If you think you're in between, maybe 1. The next one, do you know your team's purpose? And a lot of people have said lack of shared purpose, so I'm guessing that might be low in terms of scoring. But if you know your team's purpose, or you think as a team manager, you've shared the purpose, the why of the team, or do you know your organization's purpose? So our purpose is to make this for the community and bring it back to net zero by 2030. So if you know the organization's purpose, again, score it. If you're maybe 0.51, so that's how the scoring will be. If you're so sure, yes. If you are not sure, if it's a 0, no, 0. If you are in between, maybe 1 or 0.5, just do that scoring. Do you have strategies for stress management? So as a person, what plan have you put in place to manage stress? And not just in the office, not just work-wise. Our life is a wheel. It's like a wheel of life. Every part is linked together. So if you are not good and there at home, or relationship-wise, finance-wise, health-wise, they're all linked. So If there's stress at home, if there's stress, because I'm doing a program and it's stressing me, what plan have you put in place? Do you have strategies for stress management? Wherever that stress is coming from, do you have a strategy to? It can just be, when everything looks like it's going to go crazy or it's going crazy, I shut down. I take 30 minutes break. I go for a walk and I just listen to a podcast, or I do my mindfulness, or I breathe, for 2 minutes. I do my breathing exercise. So again, score yourself there. Do your scoring. Do you have an accountability group? This is so important. Like, so important in life that you have people that you're accountable to. They can hold you accountable for things that pertains to work, to life, to finance, to everything. Again, score yourself there. Do you think as a manager you've created that space, that environment to encourage, your team members to be held accountable for what they're meant to do? Last one, do you handle setback well or badly? So when there's a setback in life, in career, in your project or your programs, how do you handle it? Again, this is how we can build resilience. That it's happened, is happened. What is the way forward? So when it happens, how do you react? Do you like everything just goes? And this again, nobody's saying it. So be honest. To thyself be true. That's what I tell people, because you're doing it so that you can get to that place. That you can say, what, I'm resilient. I can withstand. I can bounce back. I can adapt. I can handle it, the challenges and stuff. So now, I think I'll stop sharing. That's the last slide. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Good. So, good.
All right.
So I want
Thank
to
you
believe
so
we've
much,
done
Yemi.
that. We've done that assessment, and it's just then total 8 over 10. How well have you done? And then really the purpose of doing this is to then go away with a plan, put a plan in place, a realistic one, to start building that resilience for yourself. Take the good practice back to your team. You don't have to be a leader to be able to, share and promote good practice. Every organization wants people to be able to come in now and, be the voice, be an ambassador. So take it back to your team. And I also tell people this: look at the values of your organization, because that's always a good place to start from when somebody's trying to come up with bad behaviors and bad practice. So our value says empowerment. So if my manager is not empowering me, I should be able to have that conversation, So always look at the values of your organization, because that is a very tricky one that, your managers cannot push back, because then it can go, either way for them. So yeah, that's me done. So I guess thank you. So let me look. Pete, are there questions people have asked?
I have not seen much questions, but contributions, yes. But let me just say, guys, if you have any questions or reflections you want to share, please, it's
Yes.
about time you do that.
Someone
Thank
said any
you.
to the use. I think.
Yes, we're going to share
Yeah.
that very soon.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to share that very, very soon. Just stick around. Ogene Kume. Yes, you have 1.5 videos as joining us today. But we're gonna go to that one very soon. Is there
Thank you,
any
Pamela.
question?
Yeah, I'm glad to know that the exercise was good.
All right, Pamela, thanks for sharing. This seasonal affective disorder, especially people that are joining from outside the warm countries. We just need to look after ourselves. That is really real. And Yomi, thanks for really touching that point. Some people really want to be motivated to be great, but they can't help it because of all of these things that are
Yeah.
happening. And so it's up, sometimes you need to visit your general practitioner, let them do your blood test and see what you're deficient in, and just a little bit of upping some of those vitamins can actually put you in the right place. That's really important. Okay, cool. It's been a very, very good journey today, Yomi. And we'll be still looking at the chat for any questions that come, because
Okay.
we have maybe 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes that we can use that. Okay, cool. That is a question right on time from Patrick. How do you reconcile planning a week ahead with no one knows tomorrow?
So that's a good one, Patrick. I like that question. How do you reconcile that? So, for example, um, why do you use seatbelt? Because you don't know tomorrow, yeah? But we still have to use seatbelt. So that is you planning ahead, right? Um, why do you have to probably think, okay, I'm gonna have my dinner, or I'm sure you fix dates with friends to meet up. You don't know tomorrow, but you have to still put your plan in place, because imagine if prior to COVID, let's even go to December 2019, January 2020, imagine if organizations didn't have a 3-year plan or 5-year plan post-COVID, pre-COVID rather. What a lot of organizations went back to during COVID, during lockdown, when nobody knew what was happening, was, let me tell you something, they all went back to their strategy, their 5-year strategy, and they start thinking, okay, now for this year, let's prioritize what can we stop? What can we put on hold? What can we do? One of the things they all put on hold was all the headcount plan, all the recruitment plan that they've put in the 3 to 5 year plan. So they didn't know tomorrow. They had a strategy. But if you don't know tomorrow, what you can first go to when things happen is your plan. And it's a bit not really, taking responsibility if I don't plan because I don't know tomorrow. So I don't know tomorrow. Am I planning for my health? Am I planning? I'm insuring my car. So that's planning ahead as well. So yeah, I'm just going to say we all have a plan. Yeah. We all have a plan till the first punch hits your head. Oh my
Yeah,
guys.
that's a quote
Well,
from.
but yeah, but you must have a plan though. You can't go through life without a plan. And that is where the flexibility comes in. So we'll say you have a plan, you plan for your week ahead. But then on a Sunday night, when you've planned stuff to do on Monday, imagine you have a sick child, or you start not feeling well, then you have to then go back and review the plan. That is where the flexibility and the adaptability would come in. So yeah, how do you reconcile planning? So I think I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did you did you
yeah.
did
Thank
very
you,
well. Yeah.
Bamidele. Yeah. He who fails to plan has already planned to fail, because, like I said, if there was no plan for companies to go back to, they had to all go back to their strategies. I can tell you that because then I was with Deloitte. That was the first thing management did. They went back to planning, to the strategy. So yeah, you have to plan.
Yeah.
Curveballs
Beautiful.
can be thrown into it, but that's where the flexibility and adapting, comes from. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Well said, everyone. I believe you can see my screen. Am I sharing? Yes, I think I'm sharing this my
So there's
screen.
another
Okay.
question.
Oh,
As a
yeah.
team, how can we build the habit of bouncing back quickly from setback instead of dwelling on blame or frustration? Yes, that's a good question. And I think I mentioned it, during one of the slides. As a team, how you can do that, one, it comes from the leadership. So that's why it's so important that, if you are leading a team or you're managing a group of people for project, or whatever it is, that you promote an environment that is safe, an environment that people, there's trust and safety. The psychological safety is so strong, and people know that if we fail, we can come to you. We can be open and honest about where we've goofed and we've made errors, and there will be solutions that will be provided. We're not going to sit on it. So most of the time it kind of cascades from the leader. But then if you are not leading, again, like I've said, take that good practice back. Like if you've made errors, you've made mistakes, don't sit on it. People tend to keep quiet sometimes. Then that doesn't help. It gets worse. So try to speak up if there's an issue. Speak up and say, look, there's this. Go to your manager, or speak up. There's this problem that's occurred. I think these are the solutions. So I always tell people, my team members, I don't want you coming to me with a problem. I want you to come to me with a problem and what you think the solution can be. Just don't come, there's a problem. And then what? What do you want me to do? So it's having that mindset of there's a problem. Can I be a solution provider? Can I be the problem solver? At least come with your ideas and then we can brainstorm. But just don't tell me there's a problem. Oh, there's a delay on the program as a program manager. So what are we doing about it? Have you been to the planning and risk team? Have you spoken to your cost estimation team? Have you, I want you to come with, there's a problem, but these are the things I think we can use. Then we can brainstorm. So that helps in, not dwelling on it and not getting frustrated, but you're thinking out of it. Okay, how can we come out of it? Yeah, that one.
All right, beautiful.
A growth mindset which starts with leadership organization. We feel, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Agility teaches you to adapt to disruption in your plans. Yeah, absolutely. So you see, you got the answer to your question. I think you were just testing me. Thank you for
So
testing
just
me,
for the
Patrick.
records, Patrick is one of the guys that we look up to in this community. It's just adding
He's
some
just
color,
testing me.
add some
Thank
color
you.
to the session today. All
It's
right,
good.
cool. And I think one of the in 2026 we will try to unpack psychological safety some more, because with that buzzword, it doesn't happen overnight. There are stepping stones. There are things that needs to be done. It's one of
Yeah.
those fluffy, unique words that people use. Sometimes the people that really say, yeah, we're psychologically safe, they don't even know how to build a psychologically safe
Yeah.
environment. Now, if that is not in place, then Adebowale's question will be like, oh, how do we bounce back when curveballs are thrown, when
Yeah.
setbacks set in, when there is immense pressure, when someone has made a massive, massive, massive mistake of their career, and then they don't feel supported, right? We
Yeah.
can make them or mar them. So this is something we're probably going to really deal with in 2026, just to know that if you're a leader, this is how to make your team members psychologically safe, or how to
Yeah.
build that safety. Or if you're a team member, how can you help other people around you to be psychologically safe? So that comes to mind now.
Great. Yeah. Excellent.
All
Good.
right,
Any other
beautiful.
questions?
Yeah,
I
we
hope it's
will.
been insightful. I hope it's been worth your time.
Definitely a lot of very, very good insights. Your examples are very, very good, because you went to memory lane to see where you've adapted and used all of these tips that you share with us today. I believe it's been very worthwhile for everyone. To me, I learned a lot. It's very insightful. In fact, Precious just, corroborated my she said, thank you so much. Very insightful indeed. Thank you so much, Precious.
Good.
While we are waiting for that, I want to especially thank you, Yomi, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today and share your nuggets with us as usual. We were speaking just before the session on how the day went, the snow, the weather, and all of those navigation that you have to make. But yep, we do say thank you for joining us. Hopefully, one day very soon, in the future, you will come back to share something very interesting
Thank
for us
you.
again.
Thank you, Pete, for the opportunity. It was good. I've not done webinar in a while, as you know, due to a couple of things. But yeah, this is interesting coming, and thanks for the opportunity. And thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Good.
I am going
Am
to.
I allowed to take a leave so I can? They are calling me already for dinner. Tina,
It's all right. It's all right.
can
I
I?
will
Okay.
share. We will continue. Yomi, thank you so much, and we will touch base. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, cool. Guys, just stick around. We've got some announcement to make. The PDU code is you have on the screen. We do have a question around that earlier on, and we can drop that in the chat as well. A member of my team can do that, and I can do that as well. So you've got 1.5 PDs as a reward for joining us today, especially for those people who have their PMI certification. PDU claim code is on the screen and is in the chat box. Thank you so much, Patrick Taiwo. All right, cool. I will also want to tell you that it's been a journey this year. We've been together for like 10 sessions already. And so, as you know, December, we always try to take a time off to plan for next year. And so this is going to be the last meetup for the year until we regroup. It's going to be February next year. And what we will do in the interim is we continue to keep you warm. We will send you information, some emails, and those emails will keep coming. And so, and of course, Adebowale, thanks for sharing that. Let's keep connection on the platforms. I just want to say, currently, in this session, at some point we had about 45 people join. I would like all of you to at least subscribe to the channel. That's the YouTube channel, to see and review those videos that are there. So what we do is all these sessions we upload there and for your review and for viewing again. So you can as well join that community over there. So I just want to really say that we will let you know what the next meetup is going to be, which is going to be next year. We also normally start a year hearing from you as to what you would like to see in the year. We did that this year, and I can say categorically that most of the sessions are curated around what is important to the community. We will do exactly the same in the beginning of the year with you in 2026. So stay tuned for more information around that. One thing that is constant is we will continue to meet up every month. We will most likely and stay with the third Wednesday of every month, and because that works for the community. So we will continue that. In that said, I think it's a good time to close the meetup now. I've said thank you to you, and I will continue to say thank you, because next year we are looking forward to even a massively bigger and valuable community that we are sharing together. So if this meetup has supported you in your journey one way or the other, reach out to me, reach out to us. We would like to hear from you. Probably we will send something to you as well in that regards. So that I will say thank you for joining us, and then we will definitely meet up very, 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 very soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks, Pete. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.